5 motorcycle brands on the brink of extinction. The motorcycle world isn't just about roaring engines and open roads. It's a brutal battlefield. And right now, 5 legendary brands are teetering on the edge of extinction. From crumbling sales and corporate chaos to failed innovation and fading fan bases, these once proud names are running out of road. If you think the motorcycle industry is safe, think again. This isn't just a warning, it's a wake-up call. Here are 5 motorcycle brands that may not survive the next chapter. 1. Harley-Davidson, iconic but imploding. There was a time when Harley-Davidson wasn't just a motorcycle brand, it was a cultural icon. Born in a Milwaukee shed in 1903, Harley symbolized freedom, rebellion, and raw American horsepower. Owning a Harley wasn't just about the bike, it was about identity. That V-twin rumble was a roar of independence. But here we are in 2025, and the legend is on life support. Harley-Davidson is no longer just struggling, it's on the brink of collapse. And this isn't just about shifting demographics or changing tastes. The roots of Harley's decline run far deeper. Failed leadership, muddled vision, and a refusal to adapt. Even longtime loyalists are starting to walk away. Harley's biggest problem? Its core customer base is aging out. The average Harley rider is now over 50, and younger riders simply aren't replacing them. Millennials and Gen Z don't want massive $25,000 cruisers that guzzle gas and require expensive maintenance. They want practicality, versatility, and value. Harley spent decades marketing to boomers with chrome-laden cruisers and outlaw branding. It worked, once. But today's younger buyers see those bikes as outdated relics. Harley knows this and has tried to evolve, but its efforts are often clumsy and half-hearted. Harley doesn't seem to know who it's building bikes for. One year, it's launching the Pan America Adventure bike to compete with BMW. The next, it's promoting electric scooters. Then it drops 45,000 CVO baggers with more luxury than innovation. This scattershot strategy isn't bold, it's confused. Are they still catering to aging riders nostalgic for the past? Or trying to win over urban commuters who don't care about tradition? The result is a brand trying to be everything and ending up as nothing. Nothing sums up Harley's missteps better than the live wire. On paper, an electric Harley should have been revolutionary. Instead, it launched at $30,000, out of reach for most riders. The range was underwhelming, charging options were limited, and the bike lacked the signature Harley rumble. Worse, it didn't feel like a Harley. No sound, no soul, just a whir and a hefty price tag. Sales flopped. Harley spun off Livewire into a separate brand, quietly stepping away from its failure. But the damage was done. It showed that Harley couldn't innovate without losing its identity. Harley's struggles go beyond branding. They're hitting the ground. In recent years, hundreds of dealerships across the US have closed. Bikes are sitting unsold on showroom floors, forcing dealers to offer deep discounts. Poor inventory planning adds to the chaos. Some years, Harley floods the market. Other years, it offers barely anything new. Dealers are caught in the middle, and when they close, Harley loses more than sales. It loses community. Local rides, meetups, and events vanish, along with the lifestyle that made Harley special. While Harley stumbles, its rivals are surging. Indian, revived under Polaris, now outshines Harley in tech and performance. Models like the Challenger and Scout are winning over riders. Meanwhile, Honda and Yamaha offer cruisers that are more reliable and much more affordable. Harley once owned the cruiser segment. Now, it's just another player, and not a very competitive one. Harley's financials are flashing red. Sales are down, market share is shrinking, and its stock price has taken a beating. Debt is rising. Even Harley-Davidson Financial Services, its in-house financing arm, is under pressure as more buyers default on loans. Wall Street is losing faith. Investors see a shrinking customer base, weak innovation, and erratic leadership. That's not a recipe for survival. To stem the bleeding, Harley has been slashing costs, cutting jobs, delaying R&D, and squeezing dealers. But that's just damage control, not a real plan. Harley was built on a powerful image, the rugged, rebellious biker. But that myth is losing relevance. Younger generations aren't drawn to loud, greasy machines. They prefer clean, efficient, plug-and-play transportation. The romantic image of the open road is fading in a world of rideshare apps and remote work. That doesn't mean motorcycling is dead, but Harley's version of it is. Is there a path forward for Harley-Davidson? Possibly, but it would require a bold, focused transformation. Harley needs to stop trying to be everything to everyone. It must choose either double down on heritage and become a niche premium brand, or fully commit to modernizing, embracing electric, tech-savvy, and urban riders. Half measures will only delay the inevitable. If Harley keeps floundering in the middle, it won't matter how iconic the brand once was. It could soon become just another memory, displayed in museums, but no longer on the road. Harley-Davidson isn't facing just another tough year. It's facing extinction. If the company doesn't wake up and redefine its purpose quickly, the brand that once defined American motorcycling may disappear into the history books. Second, KTM. Innovation at a dangerous cost. KTM has long been the wild child of the motorcycle world. Born in Austria, the brand built its reputation on aggressive performance, sharp design, and a ruthless passion for off-road racing. Whether it was dirt bikes, enduros, or supermotos, KTM didn't just show up. They dominated. Ready to Race wasn't marketing, it was a mission. But in 2025, the Orange Beast is running too hot. Beneath the race wins and radical styling, chaos is brewing. Parts shortages, reliability issues, a bloated lineup, and a corporate strategy on the edge of collapse. KTM is showing signs of internal combustion, and not the kind it wants. This isn't just a bad year. This is a brand at risk of imploding from its own ambition. Innovation is great, until it becomes unmanageable. KTM has flooded the market with models, from 50cc trail bikes to 1300cc superbikes. In theory, it's a smart move. In practice, it's a logistical disaster. Every model needs development, testing, parts sourcing, support, and dealer training. Multiply that across dozens of variations, and quality begins to suffer. The result? Delays, inconsistent build quality, and riders stuck waiting months for basic parts. KTM has overextended itself, and it shows. More models don't mean better choices when reliability drops across the board. KTM's greatest weakness is no longer price or power, it's reliability. Ask any experienced rider. KTM bikes are fast and fun, but too often plagued by issues. Electrical gremlins, fuel pump failures, overheating, and parts breaking down under normal riding conditions are all too common. KTM fans defend the brand by citing its racing heritage, but everyday riders aren't forgiving. They want bikes that run, not ones that live in the shop. Forums are flooded with the same phrase, typical KTM problems. Compare that to the bulletproof reputations of Honda or Yamaha, and KTM starts to look fragile. Reliability isn't just a preference, it's a necessity, and KTM keeps failing that test. KTM's parent company, Pure Air Mobility Group, is part of the problem. In their quest for global dominance, they've added Husqvarna, Gas, and even partnered with China's CF Moto. That rapid expansion has caused chaos behind the scenes. Bikes are being rebadged across brands, parts are shared across too many models, and internal teams are stretched thin. R&D is overburdened. Suppliers are overwhelmed. What's the difference between a KTM and a Husqvarna today? Often, just the plastics. That kind of badge engineering dilutes the brand and confuses the customer. What looks aggressive on a corporate chart looks like disorganization on the dealership floor. KTM's dealer network is fraying, and fast. Dealers are dealing with slow parts delivery, warranty claims they can't resolve, and tech problems they can't diagnose without factory intervention. Customers get frustrated, dealers burn out. Some are walking away entirely, dropping KTM for more reliable brands. Without a stable and supported dealer network, KTM loses more than sales. It loses customer trust. KTM once inspired confidence. Today, it inspires concern. KTM dominates off-road racing, supercross, Dakar, enduro. They win it all, but that doesn't translate into mainstream success. Why? Because the average rider doesn't care about podiums. They care about price, reliability, and comfort. And KTM struggles with all three. Many of KTM's bikes are race-tuned to the point of being impractical. They're high-strung, maintenance-heavy, and uncomfortable for daily use. Hardcore riders love them. But casual riders, commuters, and tourers, they're looking elsewhere. KTM needs to find a better balance. Race wins are great, but they don't keep the lights on if the bikes don't sell. As the world shifts toward electric motorcycles, KTM is drifting. They've teased e-motocross bikes and partnered with Bajaj for electric scooters, but so far there's no electric Duke, no real Western market EV, just vague promises and unreleased prototypes. Meanwhile, Zero, Honda, and even Harley's Livewire are pushing ahead. KTM's silence in this space is deafening. For a brand known for pushing limits, they're falling dangerously behind in the next great motorcycle frontier. KTM still has an opportunity, but only if it acts fast and decisively. Step 1. Fix the reliability issues. That means stricter quality control, better supplier management, and fewer recalls. Step 2. Simplify the lineup. Less model duplication. More focus. Stop chasing every segment with half-developed bikes. Step 3. Support the dealers. Better communication. Faster parts. Real technical support. If the dealers fail, the brand fails. Step 4. Define a future. A real electric strategy. Not just for India or urban scooters, but for real riders in major markets. KTM has the engineering power. They just need the vision. KTM once stood for fearless innovation, wild energy, and unmatched off-road grit. But now, that fire risks burning the brand alive. If KTM can slow down, refocus, and get serious about sustainability in engineering, in business, and in customer care, it can survive. Maybe even thrive. But if it keeps racing forward with blinders on, the Orange Empire could collapse under its own weight. In motorcycling, speed thrills, but it also kills. And KTM is speeding toward the edge. 3. Royal Enfield. Classic charm. Modern crisis. Royal Enfield is a name soaked in history. One of the oldest motorcycle manufacturers in the world, its story dates back to 1901. For decades, it's represented rugged simplicity and timeless design. Especially in India, Royal Enfield wasn't just a brand. It was a lifestyle, a symbol, almost a rite of passage. But in 2025, that classic aura is fading. Underneath the retro lines and the signature thump lies a company that's falling dangerously behind. While the rest of the motorcycle world races forward, Royal Enfield is stuck in a slow-motion crisis, losing relevance in both emerging and global markets. Royal Enfield's charm has always been in its vintage vibe. The Bullet, Classic, Interceptor, they're all icons. The appeal lies in their simplicity. Minimal electronics, raw mechanics, unmistakable sound. But what used to be charming now feels antiquated. Today's riders expect more. Fuel efficiency, advanced ABS, refined power delivery, and modern reliability. Royal Enfield has made progress, especially with the Meteor and 650cc twins. But most of their lineup still rides like it belongs in another era. Meanwhile, rivals like Honda and Yamaha offer affordable, modern bikes in the same price bracket. Compared side by side, Royal Enfield starts to feel like a museum piece. Nostalgia can only carry a brand so far. India was once Royal Enfield's fortress. For years, they dominated the middleweight segment with virtually no competition. But those days are over. Homegrown brands like Bajaj, Hero, and TVS now offer nimble, tech-packed alternatives. Even global players like Honda and Suzuki are flooding the market with modern 250 to 500cc bikes, undercutting Enfield in price, performance, and practicality. The result? Royal Enfield's market share is sliding. It's not that people don't love the brand, it's that they're tired of outdated offerings. Today's young riders want Bluetooth, digital clusters, and low-maintenance machines. The old-school charm? It doesn't hit the same when your daily commute demands convenience and reliability. Royal Enfield's biggest hurdle has always been build quality. Paint that fades, bolts that loosen, electrical bugs, these issues still pop up, even on newer models. Yes, the 650 Twins have earned praise for refinement, but quality inconsistencies persist across the lineup, especially on the smaller displacement bikes. In Western markets, this is fatal. Riders in the US and Europe expect durability. A motorcycle that leaks oil or vibrates itself apart isn't quirky, it's unacceptable. And for a brand trying to break into premium markets, this is a serious black mark. Perhaps the biggest misstep? Royal Enfield's absence in the electric space. In a country like India, where EV adoption is exploding, this is baffling. Cities are rolling out emission restrictions. Startups like Ola Electric and Ather are dominating the urban commute space. And Royal Enfield? Still talking about prototypes. Globally, it's worse. While Zero, Livewire, and even Harley-Davidson are pushing serious EV models, Enfield has offered little more than concepts and rumors. By ignoring the EV revolution, Royal Enfield risks becoming obsolete in both urban and international markets. The brand that once ruled the roads could end up irrelevant, left behind by cleaner, smarter machines. Despite having a rich heritage and growing recognition abroad, Royal Enfield's global expansion has stalled. In markets like the US and Europe, it sits in an awkward middle ground, not premium enough to rival Triumph, not affordable or refined enough to beat the Japanese, and not big or loud enough to compete with Harley-Davidson. Their retro appeal gets attention, but that alone doesn't sell bikes. Without a strong dealer network, after-sales support, and consistent reliability, Western riders aren't buying in. A few thousand units a year won't cut it. To succeed globally, Royal Enfield needs serious investment, not just in bikes, but in infrastructure, branding, and service. Another issue plaguing the brand, a lack of true innovation. The 350cc and 650cc engines now power most of their lineup. Sure, they're dressed differently, but underneath, it's the same core. That strategy might work for a while, but eventually riders catch on. Royal Enfield risks becoming stale. Without new platforms or breakthrough designs, they're just selling different versions of the same experience. In a world where consumers chase novelty, this is a problem. Despite the gloom, Royal Enfield's story isn't over. The brand has the heritage, fan base, and financial backing to rebound, but only if it acts fast. First, it must tackle quality issues head-on. Build a reputation for reliability that can rival the Japanese. Second, break the mold. Develop a new engine platform that goes beyond 650 cubic centimeters. Third, get serious about EVs. Not just prototypes. Real, usable electric motorcycles that can compete in urban markets today. They also need to modernize their image. The retro vibe is great, but it can't be the entire identity. Incorporate smart features, digital marketing, and real rider connectivity. Finally, they must go all in on global expansion. Train mechanics, build service centers, offer better support. If they want to play on the world stage, they can't keep acting like a local legend. Royal Enfield is a legacy brand. It has character, soul, and one of the most devoted fan bases in motorcycling. But in 2025, charm isn't enough. If Royal Enfield continues to chase the past instead of building the future, it won't just lose market share. It could lose its place in the industry altogether. It's time for them to evolve. Because nostalgia may win hearts, but innovation wins the road ahead. 4. MV Agusta. Art on wheels, business in ruins. MV Agusta, founded in 1945, is renowned for its high-performance machines and breathtaking design. Known as the Ferrari of motorcycles, the brand has produced iconic bikes like the F4, Brutal, and Super Veloce, captivating collectors and enthusiasts alike. However, despite its allure, MV Agusta has struggled with financial instability. Over the years, it's been passed between various owners, including Cagiva, Proton, Harley-Davidson, and Russian investor Timur Sardarov. Each owner tried and failed to turn the brand profitable. High production costs, small production runs, and premium pricing, often upwards of $25,000, make its bikes unaffordable to the masses, and its business model doesn't scale. MV Agusta motorcycles are often hailed as art on wheels, but their beauty comes with significant reliability issues. Bikes like the F4, designed by Massimo Tamburini, are more like sculptures than motorcycles, admired for their aesthetics. The Super Veloce, with its retro styling, is a showstopper, but these bikes are notorious for fragile engines, finicky electronics, and complex maintenance. Owners report long waits for parts, and technicians skilled enough to work on them are rare. For bikes that cost upwards of $25,000, this fragility is a major letdown. MV Agusta's bikes are stunning, but many owners find them a hassle to maintain. In 2022, KTM's parent company, Pierre Mobility, acquired a 25.1% stake in MV Agusta, offering hope for a much-needed turnaround. On paper, the pairing made sense. KTM's reputation for reliability and strong sales could stabilize MV Agusta's operations, while the Italian brand focused on design and performance. However, this partnership has yet to yield significant results. Although there have been some improvements, like better parts availability and the introduction of the LXP Orioli adventure bike, the core issues persist. The prices remain high, and dealer support is minimal. If MV Agusta can't prove profitability soon, KTM may not continue its support. MV Agusta has failed to embrace electric mobility, a major shift in the motorcycle industry. Brands like Ducati, Energica, and Zero are already producing high-performance electric motorcycles, while MV Agusta remains stuck in the past, focusing exclusively on gas-powered bikes. In an industry moving toward sustainability and zero-emission transportation, this is a critical oversight. Without an electric or hybrid model in the pipeline, MV Agusta risks becoming irrelevant as competitors lead the charge into electric mobility. MV Agusta's high price point limits its market. The cheapest model starts at over $16,000, making it inaccessible to younger or less affluent riders, while brands like Ducati, Triumph, and BMW offer a wider range of affordable models. MV Agusta caters only to the elite, leaving it with a niche market. Without more affordable options, the brand has been overshadowed by competitors who appeal to a broader audience. MV Agusta's dealer network is sparse, particularly in the US, where authorized dealerships are few and far between. Parts availability is another issue, with some owners waiting months for replacements. This limited dealer support creates a cycle where fewer bikes are sold, and fewer dealers are willing to invest in the brand. For a luxury brand, these issues are a significant barrier to growth. Once a dominant force in racing, with 37 world championships in the 1950s and 60s, MV Agusta has lost its competitive edge in modern racing. The brand no longer competes in MotoGP or World Superbike, while competitors like Ducati, Yamaha, and Honda continue to dominate. Racing is an essential marketing tool for high-performance brands, but without a presence on the track, MV Agusta has become invisible in the motorsports world. MV Agusta is running out of time. The brand needs more than just financial support from KTM. It needs a complete overhaul. The LXP Orioli adventure bike is a step in the right direction, but MV Agusta must expand its product line to include more affordable, reliable, and practical bikes. It also needs to embrace electric mobility, build a stronger dealer network, and appeal to a broader audience. Without these changes, the brand risks fading into obscurity. MV Agusta has created some of the most beautiful motorcycles in history, but beauty alone can't sustain a business. The brand's financial instability, reliance on a niche market, and inability to innovate in key areas like electric mobility have left it vulnerable. Unless MV Agusta adapts quickly, it may suffer the same fate as many other luxury brands that failed to evolve. Its future depends on embracing change and appealing to a wider range of riders. 5. Zero motorcycles. The EV dream losing charge. It's 2025. The world is rapidly electrifying, and the motorcycle industry is no exception. Every major manufacturer, Harley-Davidson, Ducati, BMW, is dipping their toes into electric vehicles, EVs. But when you talk about electric motorcycles, there's one name that stands out: Zero Motorcycles. For years, Zero has been the poster child for electric bikes, claiming to offer the future of motorcycling. And yet, that future is looking increasingly uncertain. Zero Motorcycles was supposed to lead the charge in the electric revolution. They pioneered high-performance EVs long before it was cool, and their bikes, especially the SRF and SRS, earned rave reviews for offering solid performance, sleek design, and impressive range. But here's the problem. The dream is starting to fade. The excitement around electric motorcycles, once booming, is starting to wane. Consumers are beginning to ask tough questions. Can Zero really deliver on the promises it made? Or is it simply an overhyped novelty, struggling to stay relevant in an increasingly competitive market? Founded in 2006, Zero Motorcycles aimed to create advanced electric motorcycles. In the early days, the company gained attention for its ambitious vision, attracting investors and media excitement. Zero quickly proved electric bikes could be fast, practical, and capable, with models offering decent range and respectable speeds, building a loyal following. By 2015, Zero had a full lineup, including the standout SR model, which offered incredible torque and performance. It seemed like the perfect alternative to gas-powered bikes. However, while the brand received praise, mass adoption remained difficult as the market wasn't yet ready for electric motorcycles, unlike electric cars, leaving Zero to face significant challenges in convincing riders of EV's potential. Here's where Zero's problems start: the range. Despite the promise of electrification, Zero's motorcycles have always been limited by one undeniable flaw: battery capacity. The top models can only go around 160 miles on a single charge, and that's under ideal conditions. If you're planning on riding longer distances, you're quickly faced with the harsh reality of needing to stop and recharge every couple of hours. In the world of motorcycles, where freedom and the open road are prized above all else, this is a massive problem. There's an entire culture built around long-distance cruising, whether it's hitting the open highways or taking a weekend tour through the mountains. For electric motorcycles to succeed, they need to offer a similar experience, one that doesn't involve having to stop at a charging station every 100 miles. And let's talk about charging times. Zero's fast chargers might get you up to 80% in 90 minutes, but that's still a huge chunk of time to spend standing around waiting for your bike to juice up. Meanwhile, traditional gas-powered bikes can fill up in less than 5 minutes, keeping the ride flowing uninterrupted. This fundamental flaw has kept Zero Motorcycles from attracting the mainstream customer. It's simply not practical for long rides or road trips, and that's a huge barrier to mass adoption. Zero's motorcycles are no bargain. They can cost anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000, depending on the model and battery options. That's in line with high-performance gas motorcycles. But there's a key difference. Traditional motorcycles offer much more versatility, with greater range and a proven infrastructure of gas stations worldwide. Now, look at the value proposition. You're paying premium prices for a motorcycle that's still plagued by the limitations of range and charging times. Sure, Zero's bikes offer smooth torque and near-silent riding experiences that are exciting to some, but for many riders, the compromises are too much. You can get a high-performance Ducati, Triumph, or even Harley-Davidson for the same price, and those bikes come with well-established networks of dealers, parts, and service centers. Zero, on the other hand, doesn't have that widespread infrastructure. You're not just paying for the bike itself, you're gambling on a company that might not be around in a few years. And this is where Zero's pricing starts to feel like a punchline. When Zero Motorcycles first hit the scene, it was a leader in electric performance. But in 2025, it's facing a sea of competition. Harley-Davidson's Livewire is the most direct competitor, and it has the backing of one of the most iconic brands in the world. While Livewire's electric range is still limited, Harley is pushing hard to improve the infrastructure and viability of electric motorcycles. They have money, influence, and a solid customer base. Zero, meanwhile, is still stuck trying to convince a niche audience that electric motorcycles are the future. But the competition doesn't stop with Harley. More established brands are slowly wading into the electric market. BMW and Ducati are working on EV concepts. Chinese companies like Super Soco are already producing affordable, efficient electric bikes aimed at city commuting. And startups like Damon Motorcycles are pushing the boundaries of speed and tech integration. Zero is ahead of the curve in terms of electric performance, but it's rapidly losing that edge. Other companies are catching up, and some, like Damon, are doing it faster, with far more aggressive strategies and better funding. As a result, Zero's early dominance is quickly eroding. Zero's leadership has also contributed to its decline. While the company's founders were visionaries, they never managed to scale the business in a sustainable way. Over the years, Zero has struggled with leadership transitions, marketing missteps, and a lack of cohesive strategy. At times, the company has felt more like a tech startup than a motorcycle manufacturer. There was always a focus on technology and innovation, but that came at the expense of basic business fundamentals like reliability, scalability, and most importantly, sales. Even with major investment rounds, Zero has failed to grow its reach and customer base in any meaningful way. And despite its technological advancements, it hasn't created a lineup that resonates with the majority of motorcycle enthusiasts. The lack of consistent leadership and clear direction has made it difficult for the company to pivot, grow, and become the household name it had the potential to be. So where does this leave Zero? Can it pull out of this nosedive? Maybe. The electric motorcycle market is still young, and there's a chance that Zero could leverage its expertise in battery technology, motors, and design to make a serious comeback. But for that to happen, it will need to drastically improve its range, reduce charging times, and lower its prices to stay competitive. Zero also needs to build a stronger dealer network, improve after-sales service, and ensure that its bikes can withstand the realities of everyday use. In short, it needs to become more than just a tech project. It needs to become a reliable, practical option for the average rider. But as of now, the company's future is murky. With competitors breathing down its neck and the EV market moving at lightning speed, Zero Motorcycles' dream of being the electric motorcycle leader is quickly losing charge. Zero Motorcycles helped ignite the electric revolution in motorcycling. But as we enter a new era, the company is struggling to keep up. They may have been ahead of their time, but it's clear that time has caught up with them. And unless they make some bold, fundamental changes, they might just fade into history as an early pioneer that couldn't quite make the leap into the future. As these motorcycle brands face unprecedented challenges, the future of the industry hangs in the balance. In the coming years, it will become clear which of these iconic names can adapt and thrive, and which will be left behind. The road ahead is uncertain, but the stakes have never been higher.